Last time on CiP.
I can paint a picture.
Like a demigod or like an oracle.
The potential of this person.
He finds everything condescending.
Let's call her Granny Master Fax.
No.
It is, but it's just the idea that they're saying pretty much also how things got so horrifically bad, and essentially it's almost like like Cyberpunk 2077, where they just left things kind of effed, and then finally something, oh, right, we need to patch this, otherwise this game is going to break. So we're in the most broken version of the game right now.
Pretty much. Yeah, and it's like the and I've mentioned this before, that there's a subreddit called A Boring Dystopia, and that's kind of like what we're in, you know. It's just kind of like where so somebody created a game but then forgot to put the interesting shit into it, but still put like the horrible shit, you know. It's like,
right. So it's not Mad Max, it's just Max. He's walking around. Yeah, that'd be the worst case scenario.
And he isn't, you know, like the Road Warrior here. He isn't like, you know, on his you know, in a car, like in a dystopian future. He's an accountant, you know. It's just
right. He's the number cruncher.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just
As you do.
So Ari, this I see right now. Yet you are drawing a white rabbit in a bunch of rice.
Yeah, no, it's a polar bear in a. Hang on, it's a polar bear in a snowstorm.
Yeah, it's a polar bear. Okay, yes. I see it.
Yeah.
So how? Well,
oh, hey, come on. Hello, Photoshop. Can we work? There we go. There we go.
So Ethan, we were telling you about the wonderful snowstorm that we had over this weekend. What's the weather there in LA? So that way we can hate you more now.
So much worse. You guys got easy. We had 60 degrees. 60 degrees. I almost had to wear a windbreaker. I mean, tell you about it.
Don't talk to me. Don't even look at me.
Our friendship is barely hanging out by a thread, and I find ways to cut that thread daily.
Yes.
How dare you?
It is bizarre though. I actually do. My sister got me a like a fleece for Christmas, and I was like,
he was speechless apparently.
Yeah. A fleece?
A fleece? Let's see how long it takes. Let's count him down.
Yeah, I know, right? 5.
I'm a little
4,
disappointed in the
3.
in the Frozen look. Like there was a great one last week. Oh my God, there was a great one where he froze and his eyes were like, you know, it's just
it's needed.
Oh, he's back. Oh, you're back.
Hello, you're back. Welcome back.
Discord hates me.
Well, you know, it's because you were talking about that 60-degree weather. See, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Discord is even pettier than you guys. I like it.
Oh man. So yeah, we're just so this week we're just shooting the breeze, I guess. Because we've been pretty hard doing what is that thing we do? Writing. That's what we do.
Oh, that stuff, right. You can tell our brains are fried, but Nate can't even what's it called? What's that word? Starts with a T. Think. Yes.
Think.
There we go. So what we're doing is something we call a palate cleanser, which is where just the three of us, just Nate, Ari, and Nate and Ari's friend.
Wait, what? Oh, hey, it's you. Wait.
Oh, he froze. Oh, this is a better Frozen face. This is a better Frozen face.
The last couple have just been that he's judging us, and like I can't blame him.
Yeah. I wonder. I hope it's not that I'm sharing too. I hope that isn't jamming him up too much.
Oh geez.
Oh wow. He's really.
What? Who?
Yeah.
Yeah. My connection's terrible. I don't know why it always goes so bad during shows. It's not this bad otherwise.
You know what it might be?
It's not this. What is it? What am I?
Let's troubleshoot on the air. So, did you turn off your computer and turn it back on again? No.
I did not.
So maybe try this. I know this isn't this might not be great for you, but you can actually like stop watching our streams, like what we're streaming to you right now, and that might help. Because I think what it might be is your computer is trying to get not only the audio, but it's also trying to get the visual through and send the visual. and so I think you might be hogging up your bandwidth a little bit. Because
I think that's
so
probably
how
it.
do I? So let's see.
So there's those three little
I'm
dots.
trying to finish.
There's three
I
little
see
dots.
it says for Ari's, it says stop watching. I tried doing that, but it would not let me stop watching it.
Really weird.
Really?
Yeah, I just stopped watching and it's still there.
Well, do it for mine.
So I'm trying to get. Let's see here. Stop watching. There. All right. So the streams are still up. The streams are still up. I just can't watch them. I can't see what they are. Okay. And let me go ahead and close out. And I closed everything else out. Let's see if this works any better.
Okay.
I had those two streams up. Okay. So we'll see if that works. I hope it doesn't because I want to watch Ari's drawing. But if it is, I'll deal with it. So we'll see how long it lasts. I'm putting money on 15 seconds.
15 seconds. And he almost froze right there.
So, but basically.
Yeah, I see. Don't breathe.
Nice.
All right. So, but before I go off into obscurity again, what we're doing in this palette cleanser is we're also going to ask each other some friendly questions that friends use to get to know each other. So, question number 1: What movie and game would you want to re-experience with no contextual ties? So basically, what that means is like, let's say you want to re-experience, like it's a movie that you've never seen before at all. But obviously, because you're in your 30s or what have you, the world has changed so much. So if you wanted to say that you want to re-experience Star Wars Episode 4, what that means is that your brain you'd have amnesia to all of Star Wars. So it could be fresh experience. Once you saw it, everything else would come back to you, but you'd be able to experience it fresh, clean, official.
So
mind swipe.
So just another way to say that is like, what movie would you that you have experienced and you love, but you would, or video game or whatever, that you would love to experience for the first time again if you could?
Yes, completely fresh without having to worry about any hangups. Both game and movie.
Okay.
Oh man. See, why do you ask these questions?
Because I don't like you.
I need at least 24 hours to think of an answer.
I've got to say, like, right off that I actually probably wouldn't pick something like Star Wars, just because, like especially like Episode 4, because Episode 4 is a good movie, but I don't know, like it's something about like catching it in the wonderment of childhood. You know what I mean? Like, like when you see it later in life, it's like, oh, that's like I've heard people who first time like, oh, well that was a nice movie. Like it doesn't have the same like life-changing impact,
I agree. I agree actually.
Yeah. So
it's a different. It's almost like it's getting caught up in the whole mythos of everything, and kind of it's a lot. It's part of actual movie. So the actual 2 hours you spend watching that movie is like, this is okay, but
oh god,
yeah, it's quicker. Yeah, it's quicker. So I lost a bet. It was 15 seconds. But anyways, yeah. So what movie would you actually want to re-experience as opposed to not re-experience?
Well, because it's been on my mind, because I finally found all 900 Korok seeds. I would do it all again to replay Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Completely fresh. Because geez, man, what an experience.
Yeah. That was pretty amazing.
It was pretty amazing. And that's the one that I can think of off the top of my head that like isn't sort of overshadowed by, well, not overshadowed, but that made better by childhood memories.
It's not just pure nostalgia that kind of dilutes or confuses the actual experience. This actually is real thing that you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think myself. Like part of me wants to say like a similar recent game that I just finished, God of War, because that and I've said it multiple times when Ethan and I have talked about it. Like that game has a couple moments that are in my top 10 best video gaming moments of all time, like in my life. Like the you know, there's a scene where you get a particular weapon and it's just like you go out into the field and you just start taking down draugrs and you're just like, this is, oh my God, you know, like that's gonna stick with me, you know. But like I know there's so many others. Like there's actually another what's kind of cool is like, even though I have experienced it, every time I experience it again, it's almost like I'm experiencing it for the first time again. It's really cool. And that's because of dementia. No, I'm kidding. But there's a downloadable content for Battlefront 2 for the PSVR, and it's an X-Wing mission, essentially.
Yeah.
And now this was before Rogue Squad or whatever the game that just came out for PS4 that also works on the PSVR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like it's not called Rogue Squadron, but it's essentially it's like an X-Wing. You're
flying. Yes, but it does work for VR. Yes.
Yeah, it works for PSVR. But this was like before that, so this was almost like a proof of concept of that. But when like the first time you load up the mission, you've got the headset on, you load up the mission, and an AT-AT just walks in front of you, and you're just like and it's to scale, so you know, literally like the foot is taller than you, and you're just like watching it, and then you get into the X-Wing and you take off and you're off in space, and it's just like, this is the best thing ever, you know. And God, it's just amazing every time I go in it. It's awesome.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna go play it now. I'll be back in about 10 minutes now.
All right, take care,
Okay,
Nate.
yeah,
I'll be sitting here frozen in space. Those are good. And actually, I mean, I know we're not doing Star Wars, but the first time I remember when I was a kid, because I couldn't see Empire Strikes Back in the theater, but when I first saw that battle on Hoth, what I loved about it was the idea. I understand it now better than I did when I was a kid, but I remember thinking, I have no idea how these little ships the size of bugs are going to take out these things the size of camels. And then seeing how, you know, Luke Skywalker figured out some way to do it, I was like, oh, that's so cool, that's so clever. So I do remember that experience. It's a one of a lifetime kind of experience. But for me, if I actually could choose a movie to re-experience fresh, clean slate, it would actually probably be the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh shit! Yep, same.
Yeah. The first, because the thing is, I did not read the books, or I guess it was originally a big book beforehand. I didn't really know the story all that well. So I didn't know what I was really going into. What I was actually getting ready to experience, and just everything there was just so amazing. It's still so stunning. And still to this day, people don't even bother trying to replicate the power of that fantasy. I mean, that's why there wasn't a big boom of fantasy movies, because like, we can't hold a candle to that thing. That thing is its own genre almost. And before I'm probably get cut off here again, but before I get cut off, the part when they're in Mordor. And I just love movies that build a palpable sense of dread when they're inside the mines of Moria, and you hear the booming of all the like orcs that are coming their way, and they're all, and you realize it's the 9 of them basically versus an entire legion of orcs and monsters, and it's like they almost, and seeing it on their faces like, yeah, we're probably going to die, but what choice do we have? And just it's like, oh, I just love it. I just love that feeling. I love watching them scramble with everything they have, trying to get out of there, and it was great. And the fact that it ended with them not all together, I thought, oh, I'm sure this team will be together forever. Nope. Spoiler alert, it ends with them all going different ways, essentially. So it's that experience. And I watched it 4 times in theaters, like in 1 week. That was literally like, I spent more hours in that theater than I did actually at home or at work that week. So it was right.
Yeah, that's a good.
It's a good pick. I didn't even consider it because it's like one of my comfort movies. If I ever need something on in the background, then I put on Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. It's my favorite of the 3.
You're smart.
Oh, thank you very much. That's actually what you were describing, the Bridge of Khazad Dûm. That's one of my favorite scenes in all cinema. And it gives me. Every single time, it gives me goosebumps without fail. I'm like, every time I watch it, I anticipate feeling the goosebumps, and then it happens, and I'm just like, there it is.
Yeah. No, I feel you, and I know that was your favorite because you and I talked about that before, how that's our favorite. But that kind of does lead me into our next question, Oh, and my favorite video game that I re-experienced would actually be Final Fantasy VII, the original one, the super popular one.
Really?
One.
I didn't know
yes.
that you'd played Final Fantasy VII.
Well, I played a bunch of them, not all of them, but most of them. And the 7 changed my life. Like 7, I remember. I'm sure you remember this, Nate. Back in the day, it was the first video game ever advertised in the theater. It had like an actual official trailer in the theater. It was brief, but it was there. And everyone was like, "What the? Oh my god!" People like lost their minds because they had the cutscene of like Sephiroth doing some stuff. So that one
doing some stuff.
He was doing some stuff. You know what I mean?
Just stuff and things.
He's pretty. He's pretty for a reason. That's a very long sword. No king shame. But no,
I wasn't shaming.
We can't see you, Ari. The thing about it was that I remember because it came out when I was a sophomore in high school, and that's when I was really getting into storytelling. And that was the first video game I remember having that much of a in-depth story that mattered so much in the way they portrayed Sephiroth as a larger-than-life entity, where if you go back, he's only in the game for like very marginal amount of time, but his impact is that massive that you never forget about him. And the idea, too, that the main character is actually, he's a lie. He thinks he's one thing the entire time, and actually he's like, no, he's not that. So it's just so many things they did so well that game, how it changed my perspective on storytelling. I had to... Yeah, that's what I would love to go back and experience.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was, in fact, I was going to ask. I've been meaning to ask you guys if you think getting the remake is worth it on the PS4.
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Did you play it or do a watch or read through Ari?
I was not able to play it because I still own the console, but I did watch a playthrough because it's Final Fantasy VII and I got to. And yeah, it's a beautiful game. Although I would say go into it with an open mind. That's what I'll say.
Well, I'll also throw out there my history with Final Fantasy VII is that actually might set me up to be good because I actually didn't play the original, and the reason why I didn't play the original is that I got Final Fantasy VIII first, and somebody had given it to me as a gift. And everybody was saying that 7 was so much better. So I decided I played 8 for a little bit. And one thing that, I recognize 8 is not as good of a game, but one thing 8 does have on 7 is the graphics. Like the graphics are just...
It has graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I played 8 for a while and then I was like, well, let me hop back and check 7 out. And I played 7 for like 5 minutes, and I just couldn't get past the graphics. It was like everything is polygonal. I just can't do it. And I was, I was also like 16. Give me a break. But so that's why I've been toying with the idea of picking up the remake, and just trying it with better graphics. So we'll see.
Your experience. Let me actually. You know what, Sergey? We probably should do that for noobs or something.
Oh, really?
Because I haven't played the remake at all.
Okay.
I played the demo for the first 20 minutes, but so that may work actually really, really well. There's plenty of, we can be on there for a long time.
Okay, yeah, we'll try that out.
But do you know, because I mentioned a couple spoilers kind of there. Do you know?
I don't even remember the character names you mentioned, I won't remember. But
he didn't even, all we talked about was Sephiroth, so you're good.
No, we didn't.
All right, cool.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't just, Ethan, you will get it because you know the story, but it doesn't actually doesn't really come up in remake, because remake is not it's only the Midgar part of Final Fantasy VII.
Like the first hour and a half or something. Yeah, it's very I know some things about it. Yeah, I know some.
There
I know
will be
the ending
scenes.
is different too.
Yeah, the ending is different, and it's different in a way that is polarizing. But I personally
very polarizing.
Really liked. So you will see stuff that you'll be like, oh shit, that's gonna but Nate, you probably won't understand fully what's happening, which is, it's not something I particularly enjoy, because I need if people are getting into this new thing that's new, I would prefer that they would be able to get into it and understand it without having to go through all of the backlog and all the stuff that's been made before.
So that's kind of prerequisites. I agree. But you're
Yeah.
saying there aren't prerequisites, right? You don't have to have had previous knowledge to enjoy this. Right?
For 95% of the game, that's correct.
Oh,
For the other 5%, there's stuff in there that you're like, what? What?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I've experienced that. But in other games, and it'll be nice if like with Ethan suggesting, have him. He'll be my like what a Chiron? Is he the one in the game to
with the actually I give you your I'll be your walking cliff notes. It's like,
yeah, exactly. So whenever I look at you and go, huh? And then you can just be like, oh, well, this happened because in the original game, this guy came in and he screwed this person and then he killed this person.
Right.
And, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, I'll probably have a book with me right next to me as I'm doing this, or I'll have Ari in my earpiece so she can come.
I mean, I could join you for like a couple episodes or just one episode.
We would love that.
Please.
We would love it. For those that don't know, Ari, Ari's very, very busy. So we get Ari in a limited capacity, but any chance we get to see her, but beyond this show, we love it. So that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that'd be a fun one to do.
For unwanted commentary. Also, all you really need to know is that everybody's hot. That's it.
Okay.
Everybody's just really freaking good looking.
This is one thing too. It did inspire. I know you're not a fan of anime at all, Nate, but it did inspire another in the wave of the '90s, kind of a different, more androgynous turn towards characters. As far as earlier than that, there was a lot of power fantasy with anime characters like Goku and everything, where they're all big and muscled out. This started kind of a whole kind of a trend where they're much more androgynous, where the characters were meant to be much more life and kind of, you didn't have to be, big and brawny to be seen as powerful or handsome or charming. So it did that too.
Well, that existed far beyond Final Fantasy VII. It just sort of popularized the Bishonen trope.
Yeah.
But that already existed in a shitload of media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it did bring it sort of over to America, to the West rather.
Yeah. It was revolutionary in lots of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, we'll definitely do that. Let's see here. Some other questions because I have a couple.
Real quick while you're looking that up, Mick in the chat said World of Warcraft would be the. I'm assuming he means online, which is the original.
He means the game. I always forget Mick plays that game because Mick you never see him playing games or anything, but he does play. He has a VR. He gets Oculus. I believe.
Yeah.
It's Oculus. Yeah. He actually does play games though.
I tried to get into World of Warcraft. I really did. The problem is that the time commitment on that, and this was even back when I, like before I had kids and, when it was just, the warden and I, and we had all the free time in the world. And I tried, and it was just something about the game. Like it was intriguing, but for some reason it just didn't grab me,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He said he played the shit out of WoW.
The thing is, Mick is also he's kind of has a bit of a completionist mentality in some ways. So if that's the kind of game where you can't have a completionist mentality because you can't complete it basically. So you just get lost in it forever and ever and ever.
I'm the same way. I mean, I tried to get into WoW, but MMORPGs are just not really my thing.
Yeah, it's a different breed. But what I did want to do briefly, because Ari's brought it up and so was in the question, was talk about your comfort show, movie, or song, something that you put on when you're trying just to relax. What is it for? I know Ari mentioned Lord of the Rings as one of hers. Is it something for you, Nate, as far as when you're trying just to chill out? That you put on
being a friend.
That's your comfort. Okay.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, if I will say, Golden Girls for anybody who's curious. For me though, like I found recently, it's not. I don't put it on as much as I used to. And it's like, in fact, it's kind of to the point now where if I'm watching the Golden Girls, shit's gone sideways. You
need to calm. Yeah, you need to calm you down.
Yeah, like I need to just be like, okay, I need to be like I'm on my grandma's couch and watching Golden Girls with a cup of hot cocoa, that kind of thing. Like that's
the point. That's kind of that's what it's there for. It really is to literally to comfort you. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the point. Do you have another one, Ari, other than Lord of the Rings?
I do. Spirited Away. is another
Miyazaki,
one.
okay.
Is that-
Yeah.
That's the animated horse movie, right?
No, not horse.
Horse?
Horse. Oh no, I'm thinking of
It's
Spirit.
animated.
I'm thinking of Spirit. I'm thinking of Spirit.
Spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, Spirits.
Spirit.
Stallion
Yeah.
of the.
Yeah, I was
Is
gonna
it
say like I was gonna be like, really?
Dreamworks.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's DreamWorks.
I mean, I like that
DreamWorks.
movie, but it's not my comfort movie. No.
No. I'm sure you've seen. Because Spirited Away, I think it won some award, some Oscar, I think, for best
Mhm.
foreign animator. It got something. But anyways, you recognize it, Nate, if you saw the cover or whatnot. But it's not. What's bizarre about that movie is it's not really. it's literally child labor, but not in as dire as a way that it sounds. But it has some. It is cool. It's fair enough. It has amazing imagery, but the plot is literally a child trying to work off her parents' debt in a way.
It's not child labor.
Right, but
it has
it's,
child labor, but it's light child labor. So
It's light child labor. The child had it coming.
I mean, well, it's a fairy tale movie. It's a isekai.
Yes.
To put it in modern trope terms, I guess, like a portal fantasy. So this girl, Chihiro, she sort of gets, she and her parents get led into this realm of spirits, where they all work in a bathhouse, and then her parents, like in all the good fairy tale stories, her parents are tempted into eating the food, and then they're trapped. And so she has to.
They get turned into pigs.
Yes,
her parents
they turn into pigs. And so Chihiro's obviously, she's a kid, so she doesn't know what to do, and she's running around, and she's so scared.
Yeah.
And the rest of the film is her like adapting to her new environment and figuring out how to save her parents and meeting interesting people along the way.
Yeah,
and it's just beautiful. I love
It's a
it.
very beautiful movie. It's weird. Also, it's one of those ones. So I'm sure you've heard the name Hayao Miyazaki. For Nate, he's a prolific filmmaker. Hayao. Sorry, Hayao. Ari hates me. But the thing about it is that you heard that? Oops. The thing is that he's known for having him and his team. They don't always. Oftentimes, they would start a project as far as animating it and getting into storyboards before they actually finish the script. And this is actually one of those as well. But it doesn't show. It almost feels like you're able to kind of live in this world, just kind of embrace all the bizarre fantasy elements freely, because it wasn't as tethered to having to make sure they met all these different things of certain demands of acts. But it works really well. But it's a great movie. It's just I guess part of it, I have a thing with, obviously my heart goes out to kids so much. So anytime I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for that little girl, and she has to go through this world, because the bathhouse is in a fantasy world, which means she's at the service of a monster of sorts, servicing other monsters of sorts. So it's kind of a weird. They're likable monsters, but they're still creatures and things. So I felt so bad for that girl, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's a great movie. Great movie. Mine is I have a couple, but the ones I go to a lot. I'm not sure if either of you've heard of these, but there's one called Finding Forrester with Sean Connery. You've heard that one for Nate? Yeah.
So I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
You'd love it. Yeah, trust me, you'd love it. Yeah. It's made by Gus Van Sant, who's the same guy who did Good Will Hunting. And this is another one where a prodigy, it's a young black man. He's a 16. That's a writing prodigy. He's all about writing and reading really, really, really well. And he gets into this school, this super duper prep school, because he's so smart off his test scores. But because of the nature of his world, he's a black man in the Bronx. He's a kid. In order to fit in, he can't show that he's how smart he actually is. He has to blend in by having just a C average across the board and everything. And every now and then he'll let it slip, and he'll take a test and score a perfect score or something. And his teachers caught on to it, and they pretty much got him into this school. And he also happens to be really good at basketball too, so he's able to get paid for it by having a scholarship. But anyways, the real thrust of the movie is the relationship he has with Sean Connery. It's very much a mentor-mentee movie. And because it's about writing, and it's about a young black man learning how to write and learning how to embrace his talent as a writer, I really, really got into it when I was younger. And it's always, every time I revisit it, it still speaks to me, speaks volumes to me. And so if I'm having it's been on this, I've talked about this podcast before, there was a time when I was out here and I felt really, really bad in the first few months or so, and I had a heart to heart with Nate over the phone, and actually after that night I went and watched, as I'm dealing with my life choices, like I can't not write. I watched that movie to kind of keep me centered as far as like it's okay to be what you are and to keep pursuing your dream. It's okay to be in love with writing. So it's that's my comfort. That's my blanket.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yes. Mick in the chat says Finding Forrester just right.
And punch the keys. And yes, Sean. If you're a fan at all of Sean Connery or his beard, R.I.P. Mr. Connery. It's a great one. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh jeez, I forgot about that. Oh.
Yeah. And there's a part in there specifically for Ari and for you, Nate. The part where
we went a while on that one.
Damn.
Close.
And they play Helen by that Hawaiian. He also passed away, but it was done by a Hawaiian.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's quick. It was a cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow done by a Hawaiian.
Oh yeah, that's
I
famous.
That song. Yeah.
It's great. It's a great cover. It is the best version. Fight me.
Yeah, and I agree. It is, but it's definitely the best version. But it plays at the end of the movie in a way that's kind of somber but beautiful that'll make you cry if you're paying attention. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have to pull that movie out again.
So yeah,
it's been a long time.
Yeah. It's a great one. Sorry, at the end, it's a bit of a downer, but it's a great movie. Okay, so here's one. I'll pick us up a little bit more into nerd course territory. What is one uber duper? Not even, I guess, uber duper. But what is one magical weapon or tool from fiction that you wish you could wield in real life? Like, say, for example, like Mjolnir or the lightsaber or Wolverine's claws. Is there anything that you wish you could actually have and know how to use well in real life? Just for the fun of it, basically.
I would like a teleporter from Star Trek. I would also like one of those food makers from Star Trek. I would like everything from Star Trek that makes like
the holodeck. Yeah. So this the bridge of Star Trek, or one of the ships, basically. What's the food maker? What's it? It's instant.
Yeah, it just makes.
Yeah, it's like instant. Just makes anything you want.
Okay.
So that's basically all my bases covered.
Just the ship of this Enterprise.
all the technology that's been developed in the Star Trek universe.
What's funny? So some of that stuff before, like the tricorder and things like that, like certain things like. Our reality kind of caught up to them in a way. But yeah, certain things obviously we didn't catch up to yet.
I think for me, I would like the sonic screwdriver.
I thought you would say that. Well,
that's a good one.
I thought you might say that.
Yeah. Because that's right up my alley. Like I will admit, I'm not a Whovian. I like Doctor Who, but I'm not a big, I haven't watched like every episode and all that. I do have a favorite Doctor Who, that's Tennant, but yeah, I just it's right up my alley. Like just having something that could just it's multifunctional and like you can just fix shit with it. I just really like it.
Well, also because you are a tinkerer. You love to tinker and build and the as far as I can tell. That screwdriver can pretty much do just about any time he needs to do something. It kind of finds a way to do it. So there's no limitations. Yeah, that's a good choice. Really good pick. For me, bizarrely enough, weirdly enough, it'd probably just be Captain America's shield. Just the idea of having something that it can always protect you. Just you are responsible for, of course, aiming it on some level, but it always protects you. And the idea that it's yours so much so that almost no matter how you throw it, it'll find a way to come back to you. I just love that idea. So it's Cap Shield for me. Yeah,
I was gonna say something like Cap Shield or Mjolnir, and then I'm thinking, yeah, but then I have to lug it all around all the time. Like sonic screwdriver just fits right in a pocket, just
Yeah.
Here's the sonic screwdriver. What if it was in your pocket and somehow it went off and opened up a pocket dimension to hell or whatever? Oh my god! I even work those things.
Then I guess my crotch goes to hell. Who knows?
Yeah, it's fine. I was gonna go there anyway.
Oh boy.
I would like.
Get too lonely.
I would like to answer something cool, like a cool weapon. But then like I know myself and I know I wouldn't be able to wield it in any functional capacity. So it's kind of like, I mean, it could just chill on my wall, but then that's a waste. So it's best to have something that is functional for me.
I completely agree.
Yeah,
I completely agree. Not safe.
I thought the first thing that popped into my head was the axe from God of War, and then I was like, oh man, but that thing's got to be heavy, and then to actually use it, like I'd do one swing and I'd be done for the day. I'd just be like, okay, I'll be back tomorrow.
But the thing about it is, yeah, that's true. It's heavy to lug, and one swing could take it out of you. But you gotta remember, that thing comes back to you at such a speed, and it's a flying axe that can go horribly wrong immediately. I would not want that thing. I think no, thank you.
I can just imagine, like, well, number one, I swing it and I miss what I'm swinging at, and it just hits the ground. I stand up and I'm like, all right. And I just put up my hand, and it comes up and it hits me in the face and knocks me over. That's basically the situation.
That reminds me of just this one time when I was like, I think I was a teenager, and I stepped on a broom, but like in the way that it makes the handle come up, and it fucking thwapped me in the face and gave me a black eye.
Oh man!
It's like, all right.
I'm so sorry. That's not. It's fun to watch in cartoons. It is horrible in real life. That is hard.
It's not fun.
Worst. No, it's not. It's not. And I did it one time where, you know how you always see banana peels in cartoons and make people slide around. So I was like, I wonder if this is real. So I literally took a couple. I didn't just try it with one. I took 3 bananas and put them on our kitchen floor, which is wood. And I said, I wonder if I actually will slide. And I just walked, casually. And sure enough, you will, because I'm not sure how it works. I know science, but you will, if it's an empty banana peel, it will make you slide and bust your ass hard. And then we have to try to explain to someone what you were doing as like experiment from a cartoon. It won't hold up at all.
That's it. I'm sure that was probably an interesting thing for your family to come around and see. It'd just be like, what were you doing?
What?
Somebody left these banana peels here. Like, what the hell?
I have no idea. I asked Ari to clean it, but the broom beat her up instead, so she couldn't finish the job.
I went to go clean, and man.
They're like,
don't
what are we
piss
in a
off
fucking
brooms.
Buster Keaton film? Like, what is this?
Buster Keaton. That guy. I would pay so much money to watch Buster Keaton versus Jackie Chan in their prime to see who could die slower, because they would those guys are just like, don't believe in any kind of safety. They have no idea what safety means.
Nope.
I would just watch them go head to head. No conscience. Fun. All right, let's see here. What else we got? My dear friends. All right. When is the last time you wrote a letter to someone?
Friday.
You did on Friday.
I do the Secret Santa thing with the Magic the Gathering subreddit, and I also do the volunteer gifting. So like some people get paired, and then the person who's supposed to send the gift just doesn't. So I volunteer to be like the makeup gifter. And so I was a makeup gifter for a guy. So I sent him a package with a letter in it as well. So that's,
that's really nice.
That like is totally a coincidence that you asked that question. Like the Monday after the Friday I sent the gift. Yes. Not counting that, then December, and then prior to that, a while.
The Renaissance. Yeah, no, I got you. Fair enough. Can you pull anything, Ari? Do you have anything that's come up in your mind?
Well, I didn't. It's not writing. I mean, I sent a postcard to a friend, but
that counts.
It wasn't really
counts.
Okay.
Postcard counts.
Then Friday.
That's Friday too?
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow. Killing me. That's good. That's great.
He's thinking that we're going to be like, oh man, when I was like 15, like I sent a letter to my exchange, like the my pen pal in Spain, but
Oh yeah, Miguel. Yeah, Miguel was a great dude. Yeah. No, but no, that's great. I love that y'all do that. Y'all know my handwriting is terrible. So I haven't written a letter since since college, and it was funny because I was writing this. This was in college, but it was like email existed in 1999, but it was like my freshman year, but we didn't really use it as much necessarily. So it was this girl that I was really into, and she was into me, but we didn't know what to actually. She was an introvert, and this is back in the days before I had met Susan, so I didn't know how to really talk to introverts that well. So all I really knew, she was really, really comfortable writing massive letters and writing massive letters to me that way. So I return in favor, and we'd have like we usually write about 4 pages a day to each other. These letters.
Well, Jesus Christ, damn.
Yeah.
That's not something I could ever do.
No, I mean it was fun. It depends on motivation. So.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if you're motivated to get to know someone,
no king shame, paper cuts. But that does dovetail nicely into my next question. Do you guys remember your first crush, or talk about your first crush?
Do you mean like on, the first crush, like straight up, like famous person, or like do those count, or like are you talking like somebody who like local? Like in your grade
local.
Local
man.
Local. How about actually local? I guess we could do that. Another question as far as for celebrity crush, but first local crush.
I do remember mine. Well, there's two potential candidates, but I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. Which one
are they both your wife? Because you're a good man.
No, I she knew. My wife ended up meeting one of them as
really.
Yeah, when they were in college together. Yeah, they went to college together. I didn't go to the same college. Yeah, it's a really convoluted story. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I have two. Lori,
okay, but
one was Lori, one was Laura, but I can't remember which one came first.
So it's not the same person.
No.
There's a Lori and a Laura. Is that the same?
Apparently the letter L. Apparently the letter L, got me Randy. I have no idea. I just,
But what grade were you? I guess this was obviously before college.
Elementary
right?
school.
Yeah.
Elementary school. Yeah, I was an early bloomer. I was like girls pretty early.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Ari, what was yours?
I had several. The first one I remember pretty vividly was like in high school I had the misfortune of her being my best friend. So
the friend zone. Well, not really friend zone.
No, the friend zone doesn't exist, my friend. But it was not great.
So I'm guessing though you didn't want to rock the boat with your best friend because you thought it may have.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Why would I do that? I don't want to ruin anything good.
Right. No, I got you.
And then there was another guy friend of mine who didn't like me and made that very clear. So that was, I was just a weird kid, and
there's nothing weird about liking people, or like your friends especially.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you don't get to do anything about it, is what I mean, really.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. It's I think that's one thing that's so universal, no matter where you come from, what your walk of life, sexual preference, age, whatever. The idea of having feelings towards someone and knowing that by trying to put yourself out there for them leaves you open. It's like the most. There's nothing more vulnerable, essentially, than putting your heart out there for someone else, because it can. There's a one way it can go really, really well. About a dozen ways it can go really, really poorly, but eventually you kind of have to do that in some level, otherwise the world will stop turning. So
that was one thing that I learned to do. Like, I don't want to say early. It was in high school that I learned to do it, and it was essentially like if I liked somebody, like I did, just even if they were a close friend, I knew I never liked being in that situation where they didn't know how I really felt, because the alternative was just untenable and annoying and like took so much time, so much energy. So I would just put myself out there. And a lot of times I was lucky, and a lot of times they were like, you know, like in almost every case they were like, meh. And but in almost every case we also stayed friends, and it was basically just, you know, and I knew where the boundaries were, and you know, they knew that I had strong feelings for them, but it never really caused issues. I'm sure if you talk to some of them, they may say something different. I don't know. But for me, it seemed fine. I never, you know, and I never faulted them. It's, you know, like you can't choose who you have feelings for, you know. And you know, sometimes it sucks, you know, because you're like, I really like you, and they're like,
of course,
that's I really like me too. And you're just like, oh, okay. And you know, like that sucks, but again, it's not their fault. But one thing that did do is it made it that like it did make that part of navigating the waters that suck of romance and like
the waters that suck.
The waters that suck. Oh God,
That's like a river in Hades, right? The waters that suck.
Hello, welcome to the waters that suck.
The waters that suck, yes. That's one thing I wish I had. Is I wish I had whatever that river is in Elysium, where you like drink to just forget shit. It's like
It's Leaf.
Yeah.
Leafy.
Yeah. Leaf.
Alkaline AA batteries.
I would just like a big old picture of that. Of course, you know, well, or you know, or like alcohol. But
that's what it is. It's called booze.
It's called booze.
No, I understand. What's funny is I remember the first two distinctly. My first real one was in 4th grade. I don't think she watches this podcast, watches this show. Who knows? She might. But I found her recently we found each other recently on Facebook. But it was Candace Moore in 4th grade. But the thing was, I am a black man. And she was a little blonde, blue-eyed white girl.
You're what?
I'm sorry, Ari. I know you can't see me, but I am.
That's crazy.
I apologize for everything. But I am a black male. And in the 80s, when I was in 4th grade, it just seemed so bizarre for anything interracial to exist. And it was weird because clearly I was a little shyer as a kid. And she was clearly more extroverted. She was like the kind of the jockey kind of sports girl, but she was really, really fun and really nice. And it was clear that the two of us definitely had a thing for each other, but we were also 4th graders and didn't know what that meant or how to do anything about it. So it's kind of just like we just hung out a lot. And then what's funny is later on, I think it was about 8th grade, or I'm not sure I think it was maybe 8th grade. I don't think it was quite into high school yet. But I went with a friend on his church, when there's a random like a trip to King's Dominion, which is out there in Virginia. And we went we were on this bus with the church, and she happened to be, somehow she went with a friend of hers that was part of this church as well. And I hadn't seen her in literally like 4 years. And it was weird just seeing her. And it was fun actually how we recognized then, oh yeah, that's what it was. We had actual crush on each other. We actually still were vibing with each other. And I hung out with her a lot that day, actually in King's Dominion and stuff. And she looked just as cute as she did before. And then I didn't see her or talk to her at all for several decades. And I saw her on Facebook. And when I saw her on Facebook again, I was like, wow, she's still knockout. She had a couple of kids and had been married and remarried and everything else, whatever. She's like a doctor, very successful. But it was weird, just like, yeah, it's a weird, because she's the first female I looked at, like, wow, I feel differently towards her than anyone else for some, I don't know what that means. And it's still kind of, somehow it's imprinted into my brain, like, yeah, she's special. She's a special person. So yeah.
Nice.
Good old Candace. One of the other story I'll tell real quick. This is my second real crush, was Adanya. And Adanya was a badass. Like, she was like Ari's a badass. Like, if Ari said meet me in the pit, Adanya would grab her by the neck and throw her down there. So
you're very sweet, but no. Anyway, continue.
But the two of them would get along real well, or really bad. I'm not sure exactly. But Adanya, I remember this was in 7th. No, I'm sorry. It was after, because it was during, I think it was 9th grade or 10th grade. I can't remember which one it was. But it was right when exams were getting ready to start, and for whatever reason, I decided to ask her out right before exams. And it took me like so long to work up the energy work up the courage to ask her out. And when I asked her out, she said, very cool, with her arms still folded, like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, that's cool. She goes, I have to study for exams. And I took that to mean I'm washing my hair, or, oh, look at the time, I have to go, do something else. And so I was like, I said, okay, cool, I got you. And I just walked away, and I figured I had lost. And I told my dad what happened, and my dad took me to ice cream store and got me some ice cream. But what's funny was, immediately after that, I started talking to Adani on the phone a lot. I never asked her out again because I figured she wasn't interested. And I found out years later in college, like 4 years later, turns out she actually was waiting for me to ask her out again because she really did have to study for exams. It wasn't some bullshit excuse. I was I just assumed the worst. So my first two crushes were both like weird situations.
Those are the situations that kill me when I look back and see that, like, because like there's one instance in particular where I look back and I had this crush on this girl, and and we were at a party. This was actually after college. I was at here. We were doing a play, and she was doing she was worked backstage, and I was an actor in the play, and there was a cast party. Well, where we live, there's like all these like former plantation houses and all these kinds of things, and it was at one of those, and I can't even remember the name of the place, but the place had a name. It was one of those things, and like this gorgeous landscape, amazing, but the place had a fucking hedge maze. Okay, and she was very interested in going into the hedge maze with me. And my dumbass thought it was just because she just wanted to try to go in the maze and try to get back out.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
So went in, chatting the whole time, come out, and, my buddy Tim comes over to me and he's like, so, how was it? And I was like, how was what? And he was like, well, you and Catherine, what happened? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, oh my God, Nate, you're the smartest dumb man I know. And I went, oh my God.
So please, Catherine, let's go in there and get lost again. She's like, no, I'm married with kids. I'm sorry.
See, this is what gets me, because also same, but like, this is in my later years. God, that's stupid. I'm not even. As I've grown,
as you were nearing your mid-20s,
yeah, it's become so obvious to me how important communication is, and like making your feelings clear, and just communicating, because so much, nobody can read anybody's mind, and so much shit gets lost in translation, and it's like, I'm not willing to let that happen anymore.
No, it's again, it goes back to just the idea of it's a weird thing where I forgot who said it, but the idea only a fool considers defeat before they even try. I can't mean that expression, but it's so true. It's because we always assume the worst because we're trying to protect ourselves or protect our heart, and because of that, we let that fear dominate our actions too much. We should at least, like Nate was smarter when he was younger. He actually at least try, because regardless of how it plays out, you're better for at least attempting. And who knows, things might actually work out really well. And even if they don't work out, you're actually dating that person, you're still, at least it's off your chest. You put yourself out there, you're able to move forward, and it's nothing's left on the table. So it's I think as we wrap things up here with our palate cleanser is kind of just, that's the biggest takeaway is expression. Just try to, as best you can, express yourself. Be honest with yourself, and be honest with others. You'd be a much better person in the end for it.
Yes, honest, like that. It's no joke. Honesty is the best policy. Like there's, just holding back is dumb. Like not. Well, I shouldn't say that. But it's not advisable in most situations.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, so I think that about wraps it up. Does anybody have anything they want to cover or talk about or chat about before we?
No, those are really good questions.
Got me thinking.
Oh, I wish I could take credit for any of them. I can't. I I do want to say the Echelon G novel. So obviously we have a comic book writer and creator. We work with Nate and Ari on my label too. In our site, Echelon G Novels, we had in the past 2 weeks we pretty much sold out of most of our books. So thank you very much for anyone who's come by there and purchased some things. Also, we do still have some things left there. So if you, I believe we have some of every title left. So if you would like to check out anything that we have created, comic book wise, if you're into comic books or graphic novels or stories or anything of that kind, please come on by. We are at echelonGnovels.com. It's ECHELONGNOVELS.com. I might have misspelled it because words are hard. Hopefully I did not. And I'm sure Nate would like to plug our other big site as well.
Yes, and if you also can get there, if you go to thecipnetwork.com, you can go there, and it has a link to the store as well, to the Echelon bookstore. And then we also have a merch store for Creativity in Progress and a merch store for Echelon as well. So there's links to there on thecipnetwork.com as well. So you can go to either of those sites to get all of that fantastic goodness. If you want to, show your support, that would be fantastic. And also there's just a lot of really cool designs on both of those merch stores. So I would highly recommend you go check them out. Okay, so I think that is it for today. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, check us out on Twitch, as well as our podcast. You can find us, again, thecipnetwork.com, or you can go to echelongnovels.com. Thank you so much, everybody, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.